Who is the fun one?
Who could it be, Pete?
I think that sometimes it's me.
So the type of ADHD I have, not to brag or anything, but it's I got both types. Dinner's not going to get cooked for anybody if I'm not going to sing a show tune.
I'm the token neurotypical
Potentially
person in our household.
We've got two neurodivergent teenagers. They're both diagnosed autistic. Like the statistics for couples with one additional needs child getting a divorce is much higher.
My younger brother's autistic.
Okay.
Sorry, this is a bit emotional for me.
It has felt at times really relentless. But I think I want to say as well that there are such joys.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, yes.
We would say the marriage comes first. I'll say that to the kids.
Yeah.
And it is really good for you. Your parents love each other.
Yeah.
Were there challenges? Were there things that you would have to sort of work out together?
I think I'd say
Hello and welcome to Couple Goals. We're Luke and LJ and this is the podcast where we chat to couples and experts about all things relationships. Today we're joined by Pete and Sophie Killingley. Hi
Hey.
guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So good to have you on.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know you guys yet, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, please?
Sure. So I'm Sophie, been married to Pete for nearly 21 years now. We've got two neurodivergent teenagers. They're both diagnosed autistic. And I have a diagnosis of ADHD. We also have a cat called Major Tom who is undiagnosed as yet.
As yet.
Yes.
Waiting
There's
for the
still
results.
time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's on the
There's still-
pathway.
it has to be said all cats are a little bit autistic, aren't they?
A little bit.
Yeah. I'm Pete. I'm the token neurotypical
Potentially.
person in our household. Yes.
Brilliant. Well, before we get into the conversation, we're going to do the icebreaker. So this is where, well, you explain it whilst I
Well, you try
awkwardly
and get it
try and make space
delicately.
for it. Yeah, you crack on.
We have this lovely little wheel with different colours on it. We're going to spin it, and whichever colour it lands on, we've got to pick up the corresponding card, and it's going to have a random question that we're all going to have to answer on it.
Marvellous.
Yes. Okay. This is the part of the show where I get nervous.
This is the part where it breaks.
Okay.
Hang on.
You've got to be very gentle with it.
Okay.
Look at that quality set design.
Isn't it lovely?
Amazing. Look at it.
There you go. Right.
It's very
Okay.
cute.
I'm going to spin, and we don't know this question.
Okay.
And all this sort of stuff.
Can Sophie spin? Is that allowed?
You spin it
Oh,
for-
go on, Soph.
You want to
I
spin?
really do want. Thank you.
Oh, you can
anticipating.
tell you really wanted
Move
to.
the mic.
That's
Okay.
it. Just push your mic out. Give it a spin.
No, you're not the first.
There you go.
There you
Okay, we are on light blue.
Light
I
blue.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Light blue. Okay. So that's a who question.
A who question.
Who is the fun one?
Oh. You
That's
guys
easy.
first. After
Sophie, would you like to answer this one?
Who could it be, Pete?
I think that sometimes it's me.
I mean, to be fair, Pete has earned himself the nickname in our church of surprisingly cool Pete.
Oh. I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
What a backhanded compliment.
I'll take
He's
that.
like, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
But
So I think you're the more obviously fun.
yes,
Um,
he has fun in a more orderly way.
yeah. It's like Monica from Friends. Yeah.
Aww.
Still fun.
Rules make it more fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boundaries, the fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great. What about you?
It's you, yeah. This is an awkward one because we both think we're the fun one.
I'm a closet fun person
Okay.
a lot of the
You have
time.
fun with closets.
Yes, I love a good closet.
The things you could do with a closet, honestly, fantastic. I'm probably more.
You're more the natural, obvious extrovert
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
But let's just push back against stereotypes. It's
Yes.
not that the extrovert is always more fun.
That's true.
Yes.
Yes,
They're just
that's true.
louder.
That's
It
true.
just takes
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
He's just loud about
We get
it.
in the way of the actual fun people.
True.
Who I've got a game ready for this.
Yeah.
No one hears all
Just
my
let you
amazing
listen.
jokes because Luke's there.
Right.
There you go.
No, yeah, I would say I'm probably more fun in the jokes and silliness and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're way better at games. You are way better at like.
Yeah. Yes.
You are. You're way better at games.
Yes.
I'm terrible at games.
Yeah.
Like coming up with games and thinking of that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Like I'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
more up for doing something random and fun just for the crack.
Yeah.
Whereas Luke would be like, oh no, can't be bothered.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But if we're at a party or something,
Really,
like,
next LJ, I'm
if
bored.
we're at a party, you want Luke there.
Yeah.
It's always way more fun.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Right. LJ, do you want to kick us off with the first question whilst I try and put this back?
Yeah, delicately put the wheel back where it belongs. Yes, so you've touched on this already, but clearly neurodivergence is a big part of your family. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about how that has impacted you guys. Tell me
sure.
more.
Well, it's kind of, that's actually, it's quite a difficult question to answer in some ways, because my only experience of marriage is to Sophie, so I've got nothing to compare it to. So it's in some ways it's really hard to know how would it be different being married to someone who wasn't neurodivergent. Well, I've got no idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a good point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and my diagnosis, although we have suspected and it's been quite obvious for some time, it's actually only recently official.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've always been two very different people. That was always been like our MO. Like on paper, we shouldn't work, but somehow we do. You know, Pete is the kind of ordered, stable one, and I'm the more kind of fly away with the fairies type.
Yeah.
But so, you know, so that it impacts the way we communicate with each other, but that's always been the case.
yeah, right from when we met, we
Yeah.
were always just so wildly different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
what
that kind of
attracted
works.
you to each other
Yeah.
then? Like, what happened there?
I need me some chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think I just love your fun.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And that is a big part of it for me. And
Yeah.
you were always very fun.
Yeah, and I think because I'm often quite the social person and bring a lot of energy, I think I really appreciated that Pete was somebody I could kind of unmask in front of, in the sense that I could
Right.
I didn't have to be the fun one, and you know, he could see kind of all of me in my personality, and I didn't have to perform in that way. And I kind of it's really nice actually just having someone I can be kind of grounded with,
Yeah.
and who doesn't need me to kind of be the fun one, even though I naturally am. So, you know, so that's been one sense of impact on our relationship. And then there's like the parenting impact
Yeah,
as well.
huge.
Yeah.
Which that has impacted us more, I'd say.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
that sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you said you've got two kids. They're both autistic.
Yeah.
How has that manifested? So because they're not the same, are they?
No,
So how has
absolutely.
that presented itself in each of them?
Yeah.
No, in some ways they're completely the opposite. So they're both teenagers.
Yep.
But one of them you'll find is very much sensory avoidant. So loud noises, smells, lots going on. It's too much.
Okay.
And
Sensory
so
overload.
Yeah.
Sensory overload. Very quick to get
Fabrics
that.
on clothing, too much. You know, it's very hard
Yeah.
shopping for her because she just
Yeah.
needs certain fabrics. She can't cope and tolerate with it. So
Okay.
there's a lot of like aversion, isn't there?
Okay.
Whereas the other one is on the whole more sensory seeking.
Yes.
So is
Okay.
always looking for
So sensory
more
underload.
noise.
Yes.
Sensory underload. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a word.
It is now.
Yeah.
And so wants more noise, wants to experience more, wants to be
Right.
banging his feet, tapping the sofa. Maybe I'm going to hang upside down from the sofa for a few minutes just to try and feel
Yep.
more sensory experience. And
Totally.
when they're in the same room at the same time,
They're
That's-
each other's triggers.
That
yeah,
can
they
be,
are literally each
That's a
other's
clash
triggers.
and a half,
That's
isn't it?
hard.
Yeah, very hard. So basically, that impacts every area of our life, whether
Yeah.
that's, you know, eating together, that's not really that possible. You
Yeah.
know, their sleeping habits, and, you know, one of them struggles to sleep and has to have melatonin prescribed to help her sleep
Right.
because her body doesn't naturally produce it. Very common in autistic people. You know, so it really impacts everything. There's never been a kind of a sense of spontaneity in our house. We can't just pop down the shops or be like, oh,
Yeah.
let's just go and do this.
Yeah.
And I
They-
think we find that quite difficult, don't we? Because
Yeah.
there was a time we were like, we just want to be more like, hey, let's go and do something. Let's go out and
Yeah, 'cause-
And we realise
Yeah.
it's just not going to work.
That just is not possible in our family. And that's been, you know, a big adjustment,
Yeah.
having to kind of accept that.
Yeah, and I imagine for you yourself
Yeah.
with the ADHD,
Yes.
not being able to be spontaneous.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
follow your instincts and things like that.
Massively.
How has that been? specifically?
Yeah, huge, actually. It's been a huge learning curve because quite often my own needs clash with theirs.
Right.
Yeah. And most of the time in parenting, you are kind of prioritizing children's needs, but they also, we also all live in the same house. And it's been really hard. So part of my ADHD is that I'm really dopamine seeking. So I get bored and distracted very quickly.
Okay.
And so in order to do basic household tasks and not to kind of just forget I'm in the middle of doing something, so like laundry or cooking, I tend to have to distract myself by singing loudly, show tunes. I'll act the whole thing out, Les Mis in the kitchen while I'm cooking.
Yes.
That's how I get through because it kind of takes me somewhere else while I'm just doing boring stuff. But if you've got a kid in the room who needs to have their ear defenders on and their hood up and they're like, stop singing.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh, this is really hard because I need to kind of like try and executive function my way, like force it. And it's very tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And just, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this question. Give me a second. Like,
Be
I
careful.
think...
Careful now.
Careful now. No, I'm sort of thinking... Is it more costly for you to have to mitigate what you're having to struggle with as an ADHD than it is for your child in order for them to be able to cope with what they're going through? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. No, I think age has a lot to do with that.
Okay.
So, I am an adult. And over time, I have learned various coping strategies.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that my needs don't matter, and they've had to learn that. But, I think I have to have more grace for them as an adult, being like, they're a child with autism trying to figure out how the world works, and it's incredibly confusing and disorienting for them.
But that's changed as time's gone on,
But it's
hasn't
changed
it? So when
as now they're
5 and
teenagers.
8, then you can't really expect much understanding
Yes.
from them. When they're 15 and 18,
Yeah.
actually we're training them up, hopefully, to become adults.
Yeah.
Who are able to understand other people's needs and interact with other people, and they have to learn what it's like to think of others, as we all have to learn that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it's not
so
the same dynamic.
No,
as
it's
it
really
was.
changed now.
Yeah.
And they actually kind of know that now about me. And so, they understand that I'm really going to dinner's not going to get cooked for anybody if I'm not going to sing a show tune.
If you want to eat, I'm singing Les Mis.
Exactly. I'm sorry, guys.
It's great. It's led to one of them now learning to cook as a result of that policy.
Oh, there we go.
Literally. Perfect.
But yeah, that's the way it happens. And my daughter actually helps me with these things now because she's learned also with laundry folding that unless somebody kind of checks in on me, that I am actually... I will be sat there with a huge basket in front of me and I'll be researching dead bodies on Everest.
Okay.
I've just gone down a rabbit hole and I'll be like, this is fascinating.
Does she call
Yeah.
you to account? Then she's like,
Oh, yeah.
Mum, hello.
She's just like,
Yeah.
come on.
Who's
just
married to
not-
that actress in that thing?
Yeah, that's
Literally.
it.
Where are they from? Yeah.
And it's
I
like
know.
packing when you're going on holiday. So when the kids are really little, you pack for them.
Yeah.
And then you get to a stage where you want to pack with them, so they're learning how
Yeah.
to pack. We're now at the stage where our daughter packs with Sophie to help her to pack. So because she gets so distracted.
Yeah,
So
she's like,
she
"Come
will
on
go, okay, we're going to go and do this now. We're going to do it together.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
really
fantastic.
sweet. in
It's
a way.
very sweet. It's
That's
very
really sweet.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you've only recently had a diagnosis. Has that changed things?
In most ways, no. So we've become aware that I was probably ADHD for quite some time, having kind of become fairly expert in autism and neurodivergence. In fact, I've just written a book about neurodivergence called Blessed in the Neurodivergent, which is coming out in September.
Good plug.
Amazing.
Well done.
Seamless.
But I started the process for diagnosis about 4 or 5 years ago, but in true ADHD fashion, lost all the paperwork, and it's taken me that long to get around to it.
Paperwork.
Yeah, literally, put it in a drawer,
Safe
put it
place.
somewhere safe.
Oh, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, basically, and then time passed, and I was like, I really should get on that. So eventually got round to it, and so again, it was nice having it because I'm like, yes, this confirms all of the things that I know about myself. It helps me in terms of not just kind of using it as an excuse to be like, oh, that's why I'm no good at doing cooking. I guess I won't bother. It's more like, that makes sense. Like, because sometimes I would feel bad. Like, why can't I just cook dinner? Why can't I just fold the laundry like other people? Like, what is this mental block?
Yeah.
You know, whereas I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I'm actually, you know, I'm a dopamine seeker. Like, my body's not making enough of it. That's why I find it helpful to have some kind of other distraction. I'm not weird. I'm not a freak. It's just the way my brain's wired. And I need to employ strategies so I can fulfill the responsibilities I have, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Now, how is that for you?
Yeah.
As the token neurotypical member of the family. So let's go back actually. Let's go before there's kids. How has that been for you to adjust? Because I'm sensing, based on our icebreaker, that you like organisation, planning, and things like that. When you've married someone who is intrinsically not that, were there challenges? Were there things that you would have to sort of work out together?
I think I'd say yes.
On balance.
On balance.
I think it was quite a culture shock for both of us.
Yeah,
being married.
being
I mean, we
married.
got married very young. I was 22, you were 21.
Okay.
And so we were still quite young and at some level didn't really know what we were doing anyway. And then you just graduated and you're now married and you're trying to get on with life and suddenly realizing, oh, this is quite a challenge. And you struggled a lot in that first year of marriage with your mental health as well.
I did, yeah.
And so that was quite difficult. And so I'd be out at work all day. I'd come home, and when I get home from work, I just want a little bit of peace and quiet.
a moment.
I've just been commuting in London. I've had a full day at work. So just walk in the door. I want half an hour of quiet.
Yeah.
And then maybe my brain can reset and I'm ready to engage with you and talk. And
I
you
did
were,
not get that.
You were job hunting at that stage, weren't you? And so
I'd been alone in the flat. You know, I was
Right.
making friends with the people who worked at Subway Sandwich because I was just, I was lonely.
Yeah.
You know, so Pete
Yeah.
would come home and I would just be like,
Yeah, you're
And
back.
so
yeah, you would kind of bombard me.
I would bombard you,
Yeah.
and like I was trying to do things I thought were helpful, like, you know, offering you drinks, just like wanting things to be nice for you. And you're
Yeah.
like, I just need a little bit of space.
But then learning that isn't me rejecting
No,
you.
learning that's not about me.
Appreciating on my part that annoying though it might be in the moment is Sophie trying to show that she loves me and trying to do something nice. And so
Yeah.
redirect that energy.
Yeah. Redirect it, just like hang fire on that. Give me
Yeah.
half an hour and I'm all yours.
Yeah.
So there's been like just lots of moments like that of just adjusting energy and trying to kind of understand that because we do things differently, it doesn't mean a rejection of the other person or
Yeah,
you know.
we just all have different needs, though, don't we? You
We
know, that's
do.
the same for any couple, isn't
Absolutely,
it?
yeah.
That we do tend to marry opposites, don't we? Like, that seems to be a thing.
It does seem
It does
to be
seem
a
to
thing.
be
common.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, right?
Yes. It's
But
funny
it's
how
good
that
though,
works.
because otherwise I think if I'd married someone really like me, I think I would be quite bored.
Wouldn't life be dull?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would, though. Yeah.
And if you'd married someone really like
Oh, it
you,
would just be
I mean, heaven
untenable.
help us all.
Exactly. So things get done when we team up. You know,
Yes.
we're actually a good team in that
Yes.
sense. You know.
No, absolutely. What's it like in the Killingley household? Can you give us a classic example where your two perspectives are just smashing into each other?
Yeah, I mean, finances.
Yeah, finances would be a good one.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll give you an old example, and I say she's not as bad as this anymore.
I love that you're laughing already. You're like,
She
I
knows
know
where
what
we're
this is.
going with
yeah,
this.
yeah,
So-
Amelia.
So probably first 5 years of marriage, I was involved in setting up a charity for street pastors in our local area, and I was the treasurer, which meant that if we raised some money and an organisation wanted to give us a gift, that would be a cheque that would come to me and I would get it into our bank account.
Yeah.
And people would sometimes say, oh, Sophie, well, she knows Pete. I'll give Sophie a cheque that she can pass on to Pete.
I like where this is
Mistake.
And so Sophie thinks, this is really important.
Right.
I'm going to put it somewhere safe.
And then
2 weeks later,
Yeah.
you tell me that there is a cheque?
Yep. for a substantial
About
amount.
2 weeks after that, you remember which safe place you put
Yes,
the check.
exactly.
Oh,
It took a few
brilliant.
weeks to remember.
Oh, it's like a treasure hunt.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, I know this is important. I know that I'm going to just put it down somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to put it somewhere safe.
You tried.
I tried, but then
Yeah.
again, Pete's just like, okay, this is actually a big deal. So yeah, there's things like that were just my way of thinking. And I
Right.
used to do the same with our bank statements. They would come through and I'd get frightened of them and I'd put them in a drawer to hide them. And then
Not because she'd spent lots of money that she wanted to know about, just to be clear.
no, 'cause
It's like,
like-
oh, it's an official thing.
I don't know what to do with
Put it in
it.
the drawer.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you would find it and be like,
I feel like I'm learning about myself. It's like, I would do that.
yeah,
And try and
You're
hide from it.
I'd be like, oh, this looks important. Oh, I don't
yeah.
like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I
Put
don't like
down.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
But
do that
I
now.
think over the years, on the whole,
Mm-hmm.
with exceptions from time to time,
For sure.
that doesn't happen as much because you understand, oh, it's really
No.
important to Pete that if I get
sure.
an important document, I just show it to him and he'll deal with it.
Yeah. But like those are practical things, but I still
Yes.
think our basic modes of communication are just very different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So,
okay. Yeah,
you know,
tell us more about that.
So yeah, so Pete, you are quite a direct, could say abrupt communicator at times. You know, he values precision.
I value precision in my words.
And
Right,
so
okay.
you want to
Yes.
kind of forensically investigate what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Whereas like I am just venting here. All I need you to do is
Right.
pat me on the head and be like, oh, that sucks. You know, have a cup of tea, you know? Whereas
Yeah.
like you'd be like really trying to get into it. So what you're saying is, no, that other person sounds balanced actually. And I'm like, that's not what I need.
not-
No,
what
no,
I
no, don't
want.
agree with them.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But precision matters.
But precision does matter.
It's important to be right.
Yes.
Isn't it? I want to understand what's going on, and you just want a cup of tea and a hug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you can get a bit forensic, and I feel like I'm being interrogated rather than being listened to.
No, I just want to
Right.
understand you.
Yes, I know. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And similarly, if there's something of tension that we discuss, I find that if I bring it up and we have a big, long discussion about it, like a big topic that's bothering both of us, I will
Yes.
come away from that. I'll feel elated because I'm like, we've talked it out. Amazing.
Yeah.
You will feel the opposite. You'll feel completely burdened and like, oh my goodness, look at all of this that we've just uncovered. That is
Right.
a big thing,
Yeah.
isn't
You'll
it?
ponder
Yes.
over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So sometimes that's difficult because, you know, I want to talk something through because it helps me. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay, so I already knew all these things and it's not something that's easy to solve. And
Yes.
so I just feel like I'm carrying it.
So now you feel burdened with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Does that carry on then, like that difference in communication style, into how you deal with conflict together as well?
I think dealing. I mean, no one likes dealing with conflict, do they? Although you sometimes like conflict.
You're up for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love a good fight.
I'm game.
So yeah, sometimes, unfortunately, with my dopamine seeking thing, I will try and pick a fight. And
Okay.
like, I don't realise I'm doing
If
Do
it.
you
you're
like wine?
bored.
Do you like wine?
But I like wind him up because
Yeah.
I'm just feeling a bit bored.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, I see what you're doing. And I was like,
So
oh
you're
yeah.
like, chuck the bait out there and see what happens.
Exactly.
If my
Just-
sister listens to this, she's going to hear you say that and she'll be like, yes. Yes, she gets it.
Yeah, so I will do that, which is not helpful for you. But yeah, with our conflicts,
Yeah, I mean,
we do have we have different ways of dealing with it. And actually something we found, your therapist at the time had suggested it for conflict, was that in order to make sure that we both properly felt heard, because you would often feel, if I brought something up, you'd feel like I was attacking you or saying this is not, right. Whereas I'm like, I need a time that we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Your therapist actually suggested we schedule our conflicts.
Oh, okay.
genuinely, because
yeah.
it's also it felt like there was no good time for it.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
when
whether
we're
it was
busy.
through work or like, it's just before I've got this big thing with church where I was working at the time, or it's just before. It's like when
When is the time?
Yeah, then it's like,
Yeah.
it's just after that. No, it's now a day off. I don't need to ruin my day off with a conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like whatever we decided, it's like there was no good time to have
Right.
our conflict.
have,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's make a night of it.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Let's get promoters. We'll book a ring.
yeah.
Get some sponsors.
Totally.
But it was less No, because nights are precious and valuable.
Yeah.
So we don't get many of
Yeah.
them because I was often working evenings.
Yeah.
So
Often working evenings, and the
let's
kids
make
were
a
a lot.
coffee date
Yeah.
where we just go out for an hour
okay.
and then
Neutral
we're going to
territory.
and we're like, we know we've both got a couple of things on our minds. Let's go and talk about this now.
Let's get into
But
it.
this isn't our date night. This isn't our
Yes.
one time when we can
No.
relax. This is
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
You're there
so-
for a specific purpose.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
also kind of you didn't feel like you were getting ambushed by like, oh
Yes.
wow, have you been just like hanging on to this? And
Yeah.
you know, we like both knew, oh yeah, I've got a couple of things I'd like to bring up, but we'll wait till this point. And you know,
Yeah.
and so we both felt like, okay, this is a good time to like air what we need to do and try and work through it, and
Yeah.
then we can go, okay, and now it's not ruining our like nice time.
Yeah.
So actually, really good advice, wasn't it? Because it helped us both get in the mental frame for it.
Yeah, it frames it. So
Yeah.
you know what the context is. This is safe space.
Yeah.
Go for it. Rip me to shreds.
Yeah.
Go for it.
but
You're
not
allowed.
too much.
But not too much.
Because even then, I think we are different. In
Yeah,
that
yes.
Your
Yes.
style of conflict will be just blow up, say lots of words, and then like, we're fine now. We sorted it out. Whereas I'm
Yeah.
like,
And you're there like,
Yeah.
oh no, I remember
Devastated.
all those words you said.
Yeah.
And so I end up feeling like, oh, I feel very sad and
Right.
upset afterwards. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I was just venting. It's like, no, but you said
But
that.
you said that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
must have meant that.
Right.
So again, over years now, I've had to learn like that style of like my family, the way we did it, which was blow up, have a big old Barney, and then everyone's fine 2 minutes later for a cup
Yeah.
of tea.
Yes.
That does not work with somebody who likes precision in words and
Yes.
who's kind of like,
That
you
makes
know,
sense.
have a sensitive soul. You're like, that I will
felt that.
that will stay.
I didn't know
with
you
me.
felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've learned that bottling it up is the way to go.
Absolutely. You push it down.
Always push it
Push
down.
it
Never
down.
talk about your feelings.
Easy. Yeah. I like that.
Then everything's fine and
Yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
happy.
I'm not
Exactly.
bottling up. It's resilience training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so we've had to learn to adjust, both of us, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting as well to sort of hear from your perspective, because I think in a family where, like we've joked about it, you're the token neurotypical. Do you feel like you're the odd one out, having to make adjustments for everybody else?
No. Because
Great. Next question.
they have to make adjustments for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have a long day at work and I'm grumpy.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, we're just going to leave Dad alone now because he's grumpy.
Okay.
Or I've been driving for hours. I do a lot of travel with my work. I've got home from 3-hour drive and I'm just like, oh, the M25 is horrible. And I
Yeah.
just want to, and I walk in the door and I'm bombarded by Sophie or the kids. And I'm like, no, I just want to go and sit in a dark room for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And off I go. And so we're all making adjustments
We all
for each
make
other.
adjustments for each other.
Any household has to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
And we've often found that that is a way that works for us, especially either with like life or parenting. We tend to kind of tag team it, and we tend to kind of see if the other one is flagging.
Yeah.
And kind of go, okay, you
Yeah.
take yourself off, I'll deal with this. You know, and we will actually tell each other. You know, I will maybe text Pete from another room going, the kids are blowing up. I've got nothing. Can you? And you'd
Please help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, yeah, you go
Yeah.
off and
Now that works if you're wanting to help the other person.
Yes.
It
Yes.
can turn into a competition where you're like, I'm really tired. Well, I'm tireder. Well, I'm really
score
tired.
set, yes.
Yeah, and
We've
then you get-
never had that argument.
No, not at all.
the tiredness Olympics.
But if
Yeah.
you're
possibly
kind of like,
relate.
no, I want to serve. It's like, so you can't play. You can't always be the one who is.
No.
I'm more burned out right now.
Yeah.
I'm more tired right now.
No.
It needs to be a lot of give and take. And
Yeah.
I think one of the things I really enjoy doing is actually easing your burdens.
For real.
And so
You're
if I
really
have
good
an
at that.
opportunity to say, oh, I'll go and do this right now. I'll go and do that. You have a cup of tea. You relax because I see you're burned out. Actually, that brings me a lot of joy.
That's
Yeah.
a great way
So,
to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really nice, actually. So sort
It
of,
is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
That's sweet.
it's just that I enjoy easing your burdens. I think that's just a really nice sort of framework, isn't it? It's a nice paradigm to it's sort of like, well, what do you enjoy doing? Making my wife feel better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
But even then, I have to work out what makes her feel better.
Yes.
So we often have conflict when one of us is ill. Because
Yeah.
when
Very
I'm ill,
different ways of being.
I
ill.
want to be left alone. If I'm
Right.
ill, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to bed.
Yes.
I don't want to see anyone.
I don't want to see anybody. I'll
Yeah.
see you in 10 hours when I may or may not feel better.
Okay.
when Sophie's ill, I will therefore
I want to be fussed over.
I will therefore I will do everything. I will feed the kids. I will make sure I will bring you tea every couple of hours. I will but I will make sure you are left alone and no one bothers you. I'm not going to come in every half an hour and go, "How are you feeling, Sophie?" I'm just not going to do that, but I will do everything around the house. So you don't have to do
Which is
anything.
his way of showing that you care, but
you feel very unloved.
It felt
You feel left alone.
I just feel left alone. Like
Right.
I'm feeling rubbish, and no one's
come to see me.
Where's the fuss?
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to communicate about that.
Yeah,
so
we've
often,
recently communicated about that, haven't we?
Yeah.
About I'm like, well, I really appreciate you. Like, you're keeping things off my plate, but
Yeah.
also like, I missed you. I haven't seen you all day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's sweet.
No, I don't get that. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
I think we're both the same, actually, in that regard. I
Oh,
think,
that's
Okay.
nice.
yeah.
I think so.
You just want to crawl into a little hole and die
Just keep, I think,
by yourself.
Yeah.
I think our approach is just keep the kids out.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough.
That's all I
Just
ask.
keep them away.
Just keep
Well,
the kids out.
okay. I
Paddy's
like-
going to jump on me. I know.
And we have a rule of we're not allowed to both be ill at the same time.
Oh,
You
I
break
mean,
this rule.
Yes.
It's not
No.
good when that rule gets broken.
Hate
No.
that. Hate that. Yeah.
It's the worst. Well, I think that's a really nice place to go to a break.
Yes.
So let's do that. Let's have a break.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Is your relationship on autopilot?
In the beginning, relationships can feel like the start of a new adventure, but without effort and intentionality, it's easy for couples to drift apart. If you want to invest in your relationship, you'll love Going the Distance, a marriage event from Care for the Family.
For the first time ever, we'll be joining the Going the Distance team with previous Couple Goals guests Catherine Hill, Kathy Madafan and Philip Janadu. Full of wisdom, humour and vulnerability, we'll be exploring the essential areas to help strengthen your marriage together.
We also have 2 great parenting events, as well as our sellout event hosted by our founder, An Evening with Rob Parsons.
All our events go on tour across the country, so to buy tickets or for more information, go to cff.org.uk/tour events. See you there. Welcome back. We are here with Sophie and Pete, and we're talking about neurodivergence within the family. But before we carry on, we want to talk about the importance of subscribing and the importance of following along with the conversation.
good.
Do you guys agree?
So good.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So
100%.
important.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So please do subscribe, share with your friends, get the podcast out there. We want people to know about all these different things we're talking about. So please subscribe.
Yes, do it. Fab. Let's get back into the chat then,
Back into
shall
the
we?
chat. Let's do it.
So what I want to know is what kind of pressures has parenting children with additional needs put on your marriage? Because we've spoken a lot about you guys and that dynamic between the two of you. So what's it been like with the parenting aspect to that?
Tricky, right?
Yeah.
Tricky.
Tricky. That's
Yeah.
our final answer.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, thank you for coming to Couple Goals.
Yeah, tricky. I mean, statistically, the statistics for couples with one additional needs child getting a divorce is much higher than
Wow.
the kind of the average person, and if you have more than one additional needs child, even higher.
Right.
You know, so, and I think it's because there is a lot of strain, and often there can be like a disparity in the way that people want to parent. You know, when there is a strain, when there are specific things which are hard to deal with, and people have different views on parenting, I think that's where the real pull comes. So I think we have often really tried to be on the same page. But even when we haven't, I think we've made sure that when we've had to discuss or argue about something, it's not in front of the kids, you know?
Yeah, let's not fight in front of the kids, honey.
But like,
But no, genuinely, it's really helpful for us to work out, well, what's our line? What's our approach? How are we going to do this?
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, taking a step back a little bit, just to how challenging it is. It is kind of, it has felt at times really relentless.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? I mean, parenting's hard for everyone. But I think it just cranks it up a notch or a few notches. And there are times we've been through which have been really tough for us. I think particularly a few years back, one of our children was struggling a lot with mental health and bedtime and going to bed. Sometimes it would be about 11:30 or something. We'd finally think, I think we're done now.
Yeah.
And the problem is we would just want an hour
Yeah.
to sit on the sofa, to decompress and go, we've done it. We've got through another day. Every day's a marathon. We've got
literally
through
feels
it.
that way.
Let's sit on the sofa and just watch something on TV, and then we can go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we're exhausted. But
Yeah.
if we can't really start that final hour until 11 p.m. or 11,
Yeah.
we're going to bed so much later than we want. We're really run down and tired.
Yeah.
But we can't not, because we haven't finished our parenting for the day. So that's always been...
Yeah.
It's not like that's always been a challenge, but that's an example of how it can be really hard.
And like with autistic kids, often they really struggle with regulating their emotions.
Yeah.
They can't do that alone. And even now as teenagers, they still require far more input, I think, than neurotypical teenagers might, although,
Well,
it's a
puberty
tricky
kicks
time.
in as well, doesn't it?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So whether it's feeling happy or sad, either way, they tend to kind of bounce to these extremes, and they really need another adult to kind of co-regulate them, which is a lot when you are that adult, and if I'm the person at home and I'm giving out constantly. My daughter used to literally need my presence in the room in order to co-regulate when she was going through sixth form and really, really struggling. And so that would mean hours and hours after college finished that I would be sitting with her. And I have my own work to do, my own art practice and writing, but I would have to kind of dedicate that time to co-regulating her. Otherwise, I know that she would actually massively spiral, and that would actually then take a huge amount of time to actually put her back together.
Sometimes they'll then, when they get excited, that can feel over the top as well. And it's not that we're not delighted to see them excited, but it's just the roller coaster.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
roller coaster. And when you've given out emotionally an awful lot, having to kind of deal with these extremes of emotion,
Yeah.
and I feel things hugely myself as an ADHD person. So I'm trying to regulate my own emotions
Yeah.
and keep that under the surface and not let that impact my kids' mood, because I'm trying to kind of help them not, be codependent on me in that sense and let our moods
Yeah.
impact each other. So it's me trying to kind of manage my own moods by myself and then regulate their moods. And it's very, very emotionally difficult.
Yeah.
And that's not even thinking about just aspects of food and things like that, just normal things like eating.
Well, yeah, because you were saying about the sensory, the needs. So I'd imagine, obviously, food, texture, things like that.
Absolutely.
They've got opposite needs.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. We deal with one kid who has ARFID, which is avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. So it's basically like an eating disorder, but it's not linked to body image. It's linked to the sensory aversion.
Yes.
It's like a
Yes.
literal phobia.
Like crunchy foods and things like that. Yeah.
A literal phobia of certain textures or smells. And that's very difficult. So that means separate eating times,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so when the phobia of a certain type of food one child has is the favourite food
Right.
of another one, or the favourite condiment of another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such that...
Can't stand ketchup.
can't
literally.
even see it being
Right.
eaten.
Literally.
It is being eaten in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
that's really tough.
That's
Yeah.
hard.
And certain smells, one child has to wait for the other to be out of the house for a certain amount of time so that I can make this certain amount of food and there will be no trace of the smell of it by the
Right.
time they get back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that will cause a real sensory overload and distress, and
Yeah.
to the average person who hasn't experienced that, it just sounds like madness.
Yes.
Like they're just being picky, suck it up. But no, this is if you see the child and how dysregulated they get and you
Yeah.
understand the kind of trauma and response that they kind of go
Yeah.
into, you're like, nope.
Yeah.
Just going back to what you said about co-regulation, because I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of ways do you guys work together, so that you get that co-regulation between the two of you as well as between the children? How do you manage that?
Yeah. Well, I think I struggle a lot to switch off at the end of the day. And my mind is constantly buzzing. So the type of ADHD I have, not to brag or anything, but it's I got both types.
Oh, you don't do
Inattentive.
anything by halves, do you?
Yeah, inattentive and hyperactive. And the hyperactivity is in my mind. I find it hard to switch off.
Are you inattentive sometimes?
I don't know.
He said with a wry smile.
Yes. So I struggle to switch off and to not allow that just to kind of whirl around in my brain. So you're often very good, especially in the evenings, at grounding me, and you know that I need that in order to switch off.
Yeah, I think I've become quite good at knowing what you need, sometimes better than you know what you need.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so if it's getting kind of really late, you're still working, I sometimes have to come into where you're working and be quite direct, like, okay, you need to stop working now because it's 9 o'clock and you're not going to get any more work done this evening.
Yeah.
And actually you need to have some relaxing time. So why don't you put the pen down and stop drawing? And I think, I'm good at knowing sometimes, okay, yeah, you're really tired, and I know that you've got lots to do and you feel guilty going off for a nap right now, but actually you're so tired, your brain isn't working properly, so go and have a nap.
Yeah.
And you can work later. And I do need to kind of help you realize that, because you just don't see it sometimes.
No, and again, it's another ADHD trait, this kind of time blindness. When I get hyper focused on a project that I'm doing, time will just pass. And so, yeah, you're very good at co-regulating me in that sense, and just kind of breaking through the barrier and being like, stop, I see you're kind of burning out here, or that you're struggling under the kind of mental weight of helping the kids with this, so I'll tap in and take over for a bit, or
Yeah, and you touched on this a little bit, but what are like some more of like the unseen challenges, I guess, the stuff that goes on behind closed doors that other people aren't aware of? What are some of those like challenges for you guys?
So many. So often, as we say, like, autism doesn't come alone, it comes with friends. So it's rare that that's the only diagnosis you're going to get. So amongst our kids, they also have diagnoses of dyspraxia, which is to do with coordination and movement. So they find it hard to get through a door frame unscathed. And there's also a diagnosis of OCD, which is very difficult. So that's, obsessive compulsive disorder, and also PDA, which is pathological demand avoidance, which is not so familiar to some people, but that creates a real pressure, because to the outsider, it can look like bratty behaviour. So
were they in mainstream schools?
They were in mainstream schools.
Right. Because that's another challenge again then.
Massively.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were in mainstream schools. One of them had an EHCP, which is kind of the document that the council kind of promises to provide a key worker and kind of things. They're like gold dust to get hold of. They're incredibly difficult. But we were really fortunate that for one of them, we managed that.
I mean, just to pivot, I got a specific example really of how an ordinary thing takes up so much more bandwidth. And for us, it's around going to the dentist.
Okay.
And no one likes going to the dentist, but with our kids, it just takes it up to a new level and a new notch. It got to the point that they got so anxious and so sensory overload in the dentist that our dentist said, please don't bring them back.
Oh.
No, I can relate a lot to this, because so like my younger brother's autistic.
Okay, yeah.
And like relatively low functioning, so we had to go to a specialist school and all this sort of stuff. And I think for my parents, just trips to the supermarket.
Right.
Just trips to the shops.
Yeah.
And for him, it would be, very routine based. We had to do the whole like widget thing. Like, for people who don't know, it's like you'd have to sort of plot your day out with pictures.
Yes.
Oh, we used to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And just even having to think about, if for some reason, okay, you've planned to go swimming and he knows he's going swimming. It's Tuesday. We swim on Tuesday.
And then the swimming pool's closed when you get there.
Swimming pool's closed.
It's a disaster.
And it would be a meltdown. And there would be this big reaction, and my parents would have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, how old were your kids when they were diagnosed?
So our son, he was diagnosed age 3. It was very apparent, very early for him. Speech delays and just kind of lying on the floor, pushing a train in front of his face for 3 hours at a go. And I was like, what a model child. I'm an amazing parent. And then I suddenly realised he was missing like major milestones. So he was 3. And then our daughter, as is often the way, was 10 or 9 or 10.
Yes, that's quite
so
common.
She masked and was very high functioning until she couldn't mask anymore, and then had quite a breakdown. Yeah.
When you got the diagnosis, so my brother was 7.
Okay.
And that was back in 1990. 8,
Okay,
9
so yeah.
kind of thing. And quite a late diagnosis, considering when you look back on it, well,
Yeah.
you were obviously
Yeah.
autistic. When you got the diagnosis, was there something of... Sorry, this is a bit emotional for me. Was there something of a... you grieve the marriage you could have had
Yeah.
because you know things aren't ever going to be the same now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm not so much sure grieving the marriage you could have had. Maybe you do. Maybe it's
Yeah.
a daily thought for you.
I think it's more like
It's more the family.
family.
life.
Families.
Yeah.
It's grieve. Like, what will our children not be able to do? Because you have hopes and dreams
Yeah.
for the children. You think you want them to grow up and have this world of possibility, and suddenly you're wondering,
will
will
they?
any of that be possible? Will some of it be possible? Will it be possible but harder? And it's really hard
So
to tell,
unknown,
isn't
isn't
it?
it? Yeah.
And I think there is a real grief about that.
Yeah, just coming to terms with it, having
Yeah.
to adjust your expectations. And I think that has been one of the key things in enabling us to kind of work as a family and a couple is adjusting the expectations. I found the most pain for everybody was when we tried to keep going as the family we thought we should be rather than accepting the family
Okay.
we were.
Yes.
You know, so we'd try and do the thing and then be devastated because it just wouldn't work
Yeah.
out. The cool trip that
Yeah.
everyone's doing right now.
Yes.
They're at the age that everyone goes to Legoland or whatever, and you try and do it. Just horrible for everybody. It's meltdowns. It just feels like a waste of time, and you just feel gutted. But you have to recalibrate that and be like, well, of course that's not going to work for them or for us. So let's work with what we've got and what can we do that is going to be a happy experience for all of us, you know. But it's really hard when like all of your friends and their
Yes.
children are all doing these big fun trips. You
Yeah.
know, they're all like big group trips to this place or to the cinema, and you're like, my kids couldn't manage
No,
5
we
minutes
just
of
didn't
that.
go to the cinema.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
yeah. And that is really, really hard.
Yeah.
It is a grief.
It is a grief, but I think I want to say as well that there are such joys,
Yes.
Oh gosh, yes.
and there
Yeah.
are such wonderful things along the way, and little milestones can mean so
much more.
can't
Yeah.
they? I
Yeah.
still remember the time in Toys R Us when our son, for the first time,
Put a sentence
put a
together.
sentence together because he asked, "What was it, Dada? That train?"
Yeah.
And I want that train. And he'd never put a sentence together of that complexity. And I'm
We
like-
both cried.
And I was standing in Toys R Us just crying, going, "Yeah, we'll buy you that train. You can have that train."
Well, like-
How much is it? Yeah, we'll buy
We
that train.
actually spent
Whatever
a
you want.
fortune on Thomas the Tank products. Other trains are available, but- because we
such joy,
tried. Such joy. In fact, we kept taking him there week on week just to try and recreate. Like, is he going to say it again?
Yeah.
He's done it.
Yeah, because he was such struggles with speech. We went through so much speech and
Yes.
language therapy and all sorts of things. And even now, I mean, there is, we would say our kids' capacity for joy exceeds the average teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
They do have an outsized capacity for joy. It's gorge.
yeah,
That's
and
lovely.
it's like it's nice and hot now. The time we're recording this, but a few months ago we were lucky enough to have a little bit of snow, a flurry of snow in our garden, and it's really exciting because where we are in Surrey, it doesn't snow very often. But mentioned to our daughter that it was snowing, and she's 18 now.
Yeah.
But she races downstairs, she runs out into the garden, and then she's just looks up and just feels the snow on her, and you see the sense of wonder and joy. And I think again, it's the sensory experience
Yeah.
of feeling this snow, and you think
And
there's
it's
such joy, wasn't there?
such joy, and it's hard for people to understand, in the sense that, you know, academically she is able to do her philosophy A level and English lit, but she's still like I say she displayed such like autistic joy in the sense that she was stomping her feet and flapping her hands because that was as she looked up at the snow, because that was like her way of expressing joy.
Yes.
You know, and it was such joy because this is her absolute favourite, is feeling the snow coming onto her face and just, you know, and so like her capacity for that is huge.
Yeah.
You know, and when they have a special interest, they really have a special interest.
Oh, they have a special interest.
Yeah. You know,
They
and we
love
all,
hard.
Yeah, they really do love hard. And that is a really glorious thing, you know? It's great. And so we've always kind of dived hard into their world in that sense.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know far too much about, you know, whether that's Minecraft or...
Oh, right, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I know the My Little Pony ponies.
Yeah. Oh, My Little Pony is
Didn't
huge.
think that was going to be a thing.
Totally.
Yeah, there you
We've
go.
been to BronyCon.
We've been to BronyCon.
You've been to BronyCon.
We've been to BronyCon. If you don't know what that is,
Amazing.
look it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My Little Pony convention
Yes.
for grown-ups.
It was
Yes.
interesting.
It was
Yeah.
interesting.
It was a wild day.
It's interesting, actually. That's a huge autistic
Oh, my brother loved
thing,
it.
is My
Yeah.
Little Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was really beautiful, like what stood out to me from that wild day, was how I just felt like he was in
Oh, he was
the
himself.
perfect place. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I've never seen him just, this is his world.
Yeah.
I was like, this all makes sense to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was just completely happy and at ease, and it was just lovely to watch.
And you were the
Yeah.
ones who felt like,
We
I
were,
don't belong
yeah,
here.
we
I
felt
yes,
understand the
like
world around me.
completely out of
Yeah.
our comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
interesting switch.
It was.
Yeah.
It
It
was.
was.
And it kind of like gave me a little insight into, oh,
Insight.
so like, this is what it's like for you outside of this bubble.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
real world to him doesn't make sense. But
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. He was in his element.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so lush.
It was very beautiful.
And how important then, I think, when you have a context where all of that's going on, you know, you're thinking about you're thinking about all the extra things that other families don't have to think about, you know, the sensory overload stuff, the routines, the planning, what do we do if this happens, her needs of this, his needs of that. How important is it then for you two to be united so that your family can function healthily?
I mean, it's absolutely everything,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because if we're not united on how to deal with what is happening, then we're just going to be constantly bickering and arguing with each other.
Totally.
And there are some times that one of us might say to the other, why did you handle that in that way? And that's happened in both
That's happened in
directions.
both directions, yeah.
So there's sometimes that, you know, there's one time at college when there was a kind of an award show for displaying a
It was
dress that our daughter had designed for her textiles A level, and they had all these various people modelling the dresses, and you
I got very
got
excited.
very excited, and you stood up and started whooping and cheering,
and shouting, "That's my girl!" because I was so excited.
So
That's
proud.
lush.
So proud.
Yeah.
But you were like, afterwards, you were like, have you met our daughter? Because she was mortified
Oh.
and
She
furious.
was fuming. She was really angry.
She was
about
so
it.
angry, and I'm like, yeah, right, because like
Yeah.
for my son, that's exactly the kind of thing he
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah.
For her, she wants to blend in, she wants to be invisible.
So,
Yeah.
but what we're doing there is I'm having that conversation with Sophie afterwards.
Yeah.
But with our daughter, I'm trying to explain that this is what your mum was doing. She was. I'm not saying she was a bit much. Well, sometimes I might say.
I mean, I was, to be fair.
but I'm trying to say no. She's expressing her.
I was
her
just
appreciation,
so
her love. You
excited.
need
Yeah.
to understand that.
Yeah.
And so, but we'll have that conversation afterwards.
Yeah. To
in
try
private
and
to
be.
say, okay, this is where we're at. And there are other times when you might think I speak too harshly
Yeah.
to the kids, and you think, oh, I think his tone came across a bit much there, and we'll have that conversation afterwards,
Yeah.
and you'll say, I think you came across too harsh, and sometimes, okay, fine, and I go and apologise to the kids,
Yeah.
and sometimes say, actually, no, I think they needed a
hard-
harsh tone,
a hard
tone of voice
boundary there.
because they were just really transgressing a boundary, and actually they need sometimes people just to be a little bit more abrupt
Yeah.
but we'll do that conversation separately.
And sometimes we'll even disagree on that. I'll be
Yeah.
like, I don't think
Yeah.
so. And you'll be like, well, I do.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not even that we might even agree on the actual thing, but we do have that discussion and away from the kids.
And then when we can come before the kids, we are generally united, and that I think makes all the difference, because the challenges are. It feels sometimes like we're playing on hard mode.
Yeah.
And if you're playing on hard mode, you just need to have everything in sync.
Yes.
Otherwise, you just lose very quickly, and it all just everything goes
Yeah,
wrong.
totally.
No, I completely relate to that. So I think like my parents, I don't think we very rarely saw them argue.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes our daughter complains in the sense that she'll try and kind of, I don't know, get something past you, and then it won't, and she'll come to me, and I'll have already talked to you.
Yeah, we're like
Yeah.
WhatsApp is brilliant. We're like
Yeah, we
texting.
see that in our house
And
already.
she's
I can
just
get
like-
anything past my parents.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
she's
nightmare.
like, it's so annoying. You always agree, and I'm like, well, actually, that's kind of a benefit for you. Like,
That's a good thing.
that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
That's a good thing.
But I think the other perspective we have is we would say the marriage comes first.
Yes.
I would
Yeah,
put Sophie first. It's not about kids first and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Right.
I'm always trying to prioritize you, and I'll say that to the kids.
Yeah.
Like, and it is really good for you. Your parents love each other.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to side with Sophie. I'm always going to support, and we're going to make sure. Now we're in a better place with bedtimes, and it's 9:00. And at 9:00, I'm like, right, kids, out you get,
Off you
because
go.
Yeah.
we
need this time to
we need this
decompress.
time just to hang out and decompress, because it's in your interest that you have parents
Yeah.
who love
This is
each
for
other.
your good.
Yeah, but
so
we
true.
always want to say, like, we
Yeah.
come first, not out of selfishness, but
No.
out of stability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Because,
always-
and with all this stuff we're talking about, we can't do this alone either,
No.
can we? So I've been wondering, have you guys had any help, from friends, family, professionals? How important have external support systems been in your relationship with your children?
Yeah.
Massive, really. I mean, I think that is one thing that parents of autistic kids overwhelmingly feel is isolated and alone, because there's no other people are like, I'll just get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's not going to
No.
work when you've got this kind of complexity going on. And so having people that you can trust is gold. So my parents in particular have been very hands-on, and we've made it a priority, haven't we, to make sure that every year we at least have a weekend where we go somewhere by ourselves, whether that's like a quick city break somewhere, or even to Europe or something. Just get away. And my parents have always facilitated that, because they know
That's great.
we
and
have
I'd
to
say
have
that.
that.
I mean, that's great for any couple, right? It's
Yeah.
always good to have
Yeah.
weekends away and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
for us, it wasn't just that, this
It's
is a nice
different,
thing.
though.
It's just like, this is necessary.
Yeah.
This is respite.
Yes,
Yeah.
respite.
You know, it was real respite.
love that
And we
word.
still do
Yeah.
that now, and it's still needed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's massive. So the support from your parents, because
Yeah.
when the kids were very young, we lived very near them, so they have a particularly close relationship there.
Yeah,
don't they?
and, got the kids.
But even beyond that, just from professionals and support groups
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, I joined an autism dads group for a little while, which is
Okay.
great. And our kids are both at different times have been part of a peer support group for teenagers with autism, and then the parents often would hang out during that.
Yeah.
So you've particularly found that really
I found that
helpful.
very helpful. So often, like for a couple of hours on a Saturday, the kids would go to their peer support group. So they're joining with other teenagers to
Okay.
talk about being autistic, what's happening in school, difficulties with peer relationships and all that kind of stuff. And then the parents would go down the pub for a cup of coffee and just sit and chat. And having people who got it is amazing, because you
need
don't
kind
have
of
to explain.
it, Yeah.
You don't have to
Yeah.
explain
No, I
yourself.
understand.
You don't have to be like, no,
Yeah.
you don't have to be like, oh, they're not being bratty, I promise. I know it sounds it.
Yeah.
This is a real reaction from them. You don't have to do any of that. So it was massive.
That's a major thing for us at Care for the Family. So
Yeah.
something that we do actually is we have befriending groups
Yes.
for parents who have children with additional needs.
It's huge.
And it's
they
huge,
are
and
your
it-
lifeline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just people speaking with other parents who get it, who understand it.
Yeah.
There's no caveats. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's just
You can speak honestly, and you don't have to be like, "Oh no, I really love my kids." You know,
Yeah.
like
You don't have to put in
take
those qualifying
don't take
statements.
from this that I don't love them. You know, you don't have to say that. You can be like, "Oh, this was so hard.
Yeah.
I'm barely making it this week," and other parents are like, "Same."
Yeah.
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 You know, and that's a beautiful thing. And both of us have also like benefited from therapists as well. Like, I was seeing a therapist for a counsellor for about 6 years or so, and you had a time.
Yeah, I'm more of a, I'll do it for a couple of months. That was helpful. Right, done now.
Yeah,
I've had my top up.
yeah, found my top up.
It was really valuable, but it was also my least favourite hour of the week.
Okay.
I'm like, this is going to be hard. But it was really useful, really good for me.
Yeah.
But for you, you're like, oh, this is
Yeah,
great.
for this, for me, after an hour, I'd be like, I so needed that.
I love this.
I love it. Yeah. So, but that again, like professional outside help to help
Yeah.
us work through, because it's so difficult. You carry so much guilt as a parent, and like, and also trying to be there for your spouse, being like, I feel so like just overloaded. I'm carrying so much sensory stuff. You know, I feel so touched out from kids like just being near me. You know, I just want to kind of be alone and live with a cat, and then just you know, just having somebody to talk to, and then, you know, being able to kind of connect back in and be like, no, this is great, we're a team.
Yeah.
Lush.
That's incredible. We're coming to near the end now, so we just want some
times.
advice from you guys.
Yeah.
For what advice would you give to couples who are one's neurodivergent, the one's not, or they're just big opposites?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to couples who are just getting together, how to navigate that healthily?
I think just work really hard to try and understand how they operate, why they operate the way they do, and don't always assume that your way is better. So it's like I'm often more driven by kind of logic and efficiency, and so I would.
Yeah.
There's some things I think that just makes sense to do it this way. Why are you not? But
Yeah.
and sometimes, when it comes to hiding checks, I'm right. It does make sense not to do that. But in other areas,
Don't do that.
in other
In other
areas,
areas.
it's maybe
like-
it comes down to like
Yeah, like
time with the kids or something,
sometimes in the evening, like I will play like a Nintendo with our son, especially. He really likes to kind of connect with me in the evening, and he'll be like, "It's 9 o'clock. Why have you started another game that's going to be 10 minutes out of our evening?" You know, because you're thinking efficiency, logic, whereas like I'm thinking our son's really enjoying this and he's just started opening up to me, so I'm going to extend our
There's an
time.
opportunity here.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, okay, that actually makes sense, you know.
But in 1,000 areas, I think
Yeah.
I always have to remind myself my way of doing things is not necessarily better.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Even though I think it probably is, because that's why it's my way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I need to accept that even though I still think it's the right way,
Begrudgingly go along
begrudgingly
with
and
Sophie's
lovingly,
way.
caringly go,
Yeah.
maybe it's not.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why it's not, though.
Yeah.
But I have to accept that.
But I'll accept it.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that is just like having that flexibility and knowing that just because somebody kind of is very different in their kind of operating system, it doesn't represent a lack of love or a lack of connection. It's just a different way of operating.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had to kind of remember that so often, you know.
And I think as well, it's just recognizing that by being so different, actually we bring things to each other.
Yeah.
And we can do more. So an illustration we often use is the idea of a kite and a string.
Yeah.
And Sophie's like a kite, I'm the string.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
You're kind of tethering me to reality.
a kite without a string just kind of flaps around aimlessly and does nothing. But a kite
Yeah.
with a string can actually fly and soar.
Yeah.
So that's really...
That is such a
So
good...
for you to
yeah.
have a string, I'm not always just like a buzzkill. Actually, it's really good for you to have a string. Is that kind of
You're
anchoring you.
directing, helping direct my
Yeah.
energy and my...
Yeah.
But for me, it's really good to have a kite because a string
Yeah.
without a kite is just kind of lying on the ground.
Yeah.
It's kind
Yeah.
of dull.
You bring him up and he grounds you.
Exactly.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
why it works.
Yeah,
So,
pretty
but
much.
so you know, it's in every couple you can think, well, what do we bring to each other that enhances? And so
Yeah.
it's looking for that deliberately, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, that's lovely.
Guys, thank you. This has been such a helpful conversation.
Thanks.
But just
been
before we
fun.
wrap up, can you tell people how they can keep up with you? Tell us what you're up to now.
Sure.
Yeah, so I work for Care, which is not the same as Care for the Family, but yeah. So you can find me there. I've also got a book coming out in October this year called A Christian's Guide to AI, and you can pre-order that now if you're interested. So that's me.
Very good.
And I am all over social media like a rash. So you can find you can find me just under my name, Sophie Killingley. And I have a book coming out in September. A few weeks before yours, called Blessed are the Neurodivergent, where I'm looking at the challenges of neurodivergent parenting and being a neurodivergent person and how that can impact faith and faith communities like church. So, yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Great stuff.
Thank you both for coming on.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
It's been brilliant.
Guys.